enthusiastically support their team, recognize the outstanding performance of opponents, and always exhibit good sportsmanship in their words and actions. The MIAA encourages and promotes sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. Offensive language, including profanity, racial or ethnic slurs, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, event staff, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated. At this time, we ask that you rise and remove your caps for an opening prayer, followed by our national anthem. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, you have created us to strive for the best and to give our utmost for your glory. We give thanks for this football season and the opportunity once again to play, to cheer, to gather and unite together, even in the heat of competition, with a sport that we love, things we perhaps took for granted just a short time ago. Every person here today matters to you. May we treat each other in a way that reflects that love. Grant to all athletes, coaches, officials, and fans strength to do their best during this event, and even beyond this contest and all that we do. We pray for the safety of all participants, protect them from injury and harm. And finally, we pray for your grace, that you would provide us with the needed endurance to pursue our heavenly prize, eternal life in your Son, Jesus. Amen. And now, we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Over the past several months, blood, sweat, and tears have been shed by a special few to earn the title of Saints football player. A Saint must always be accountable. He must put others before himself and give his all for the betterment of the team. A Saint must always strive for greatness. He must have heart. He must be willing to push himself to the next level. Saints must be leaders and take the path less traveled, always striving to achieve what has yet to be done. Many wish to wear the red and white, but only a special few get the opportunity to carry our mighty silver shield into battle. We are tough. We are together. We are detailed. We are disciplined. We are the Saints of Concordia Prep.
Kelly Field is the site, the home of the Calvert Hall Cardinals, but tonight it is the Loyola Dons, it is the Concordia Prep Saints, and it is the MIAA B Conference Championship game in 2021. live here on the AC Sports Network on YouTube. Ryder Bentz kicks it away, and a great return for Loyola to start this game. Connor Newcomb alongside Miles Goodman for this conference championship. And Miles, this is what we got to start with on the Loyola side. No championship since 2008. They were out of the conference for a bit. On the Concordia side, looking for the first ever title. Lot on the line for both these teams.
Very exciting to be here. Good to have you back, Connor. Back in the booth. This is what you play for. This is it. You got to forget about everything. Tonight's the night.
So it was Zelotes Jackson who had a fantastic kick return right there. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Loyola Dons as Marcus Hines is at quarterback. He takes a snap looking right. It's a screen play, throws left, and he dropped it. They dropped the interception. Terrell Barty almost had the play of the season, and it's just incomplete and 2nd down.
Well, it sets the tone. Defense right away. This is what this team is built around, is the defense. So this just great to see defense come up right with a big play right to start the game.
I think Miles, he had his eyes on the end zone and took his eye off the ball for just a second, because if he catches that, he's inside the 20 definitely, and he's probably scoring. 2nd and 10. Hines looking to throw, and it is almost intercepted again. The intended receiver on the play was Noah Bull. It was knocked away and almost picked by the talented freshman Cam Allen Jones.
Cam Allen Jones has really played well this season, and he's really played well the last few games.
So 3rd and 10, Loyola has avoided disaster on each of its first 2 plays. And the Concordia prep bench, which was firing on all cylinders as soon as that national anthem ended, they are fired up. 3rd and 10 from the 35 for the Dons. Marcus Hines looking to throw again, got pressure on him. He's wrapped up and he throws incomplete. Pressure on the play from Sone Matuge.
There's a flag on the play.
There's a late flag.
Very late flag. Roughing the passer.
And it's going to be a free 1st down to the Dons. Matuge got the pressure, and that flag came out, I mean, Miles, late, and later.
Extremely late. Matuge was almost off the field when the flag came out.
And head coach Joe Battaglia, in his 2nd season at the helm of this Saints program, cannot believe it. He is furious on the sideline. It's a free 15 yards and a 1st down at midfield for the Dons after Concordia, I mean, just a dominant 3 plays, and the Dons bailed out on a late roughing the passer penalty called against Matuge. So it'll be 1st and 10 from midfield for Loyola. Let's see if they get the running game involved here. It was 3 passes to start, and now a flag flies. And I wonder if this is going to be some sort of sideline warning against the coaching staff for Concordia. That was kind of the spot where it was thrown. If it's not, it's maybe an illegal substitution. And the referee now talking with head coach Joe Battaglia. He was not happy with that flag, especially with how late it was. And if not a sideline warning, then a full flag. I believe it's just going to be the warning on the Concordia prep sideline. Now, if it happens again, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Now you have to put that behind you and come out and just play.
So 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Marcus Hines, the junior quarterback, is under center. They bring a tight end in motion, and he's going to give it off to his running back, and there is nothing there for Micah Robinson. He's going to lose a yard. And the Concordia defense looking good early. I mean, Miles, you know, the offense has been up and down this season, but this is the best defense in the B Conference right here.
Statistically, when you look at them in game to game, and you look at last game against St. Mary's, how they had their back to the wall several times early, and they bailed out. They were able to bail out the offense, and then the offense was able to turn around and put points on the board.
So they give Robinson the line of scrimmage. It's a gain of nothing. It's 2nd and 10 from the 50 for Loyola. As Hines going to go under center, and the Dons just struggling to get communication there, and they will call timeouts. As their 5th-year head coach, Anthony Zayu, wants to talk this one over with 10:50 to go in the 1st quarter from our B Conference Championship game. We are scoreless from Kelly Field, and Miles, want to stay here just because there's a lot to unpack. I mean, Loyola's run 4 plays, and I feel like so much has happened in this game already.
The defense has been dominant. The defense almost came up with 2 turnovers, And the penalty, without a replay, it's hard to see what happened. I didn't see anything that happened that looked out of the ordinary other than a sack. But, you know, it's up to the officials to make that call. But there's already been a quarter's worth of action packed into the first couple of minutes here.
Yeah, and I have to think, you know, Joe Battaglia is not happy with the call, obviously. His defense about to get off the field. I have to say, we don't see him react that strongly a lot. I'm thinking the timing of the flag had a lot to do with that. The QB was down, Matuge was celebrating, and then the flag came out. And so now coming out of the timeout, it's going to be a 2nd and 10. That looks like Jaden Moore in at quarterback. He's the number 2 guy, the Swiss Army knife, and there goes Moore up the sideline. Jaden Moore is loose. He's into the secondary, and he's into the red zone for Loyola. One of the most dangerous players in the conference, the sophomore Jaden Moore, who's not only the backup quarterback, he's also a starting wide receiver. He's also a running back at times. He basically does everything.
Yeah, he has a lot of speed.
And he got up the field inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 32 on Moore's first touch of the day. Of course, his older brother, Jordan, was the quarterback for this Loyola team for the past 3 years. And Jaden's got aspirations to be that starting QB down the road as well, but he's so dangerous, you get him the ball any way you can. 1st and 10 from the 18. Robinson working to the right side. He's got some space. Robinson turning the corner, and he's taken down via the horse collar tackle. And for Tracus McCullough, who's going to get that penalty, that was maybe the only way to keep him out of the end zone. So probably not a bad foul, and it's only going to tack on a couple more yards at the end of the run.
Yeah, I think if he gets around the corner, he may go in for the touchdown. So may have saved the touchdown there.
And so it will be a 1st and goal as the senior running back Micah Robinson getting loose there. He is the workhorse back for Loyola. Came in with 118 carries, 666 yards, and 7 touchdowns, averaging just under 6 yards per carry. He has been explosive this year, and now it is 1st and goal for Loyola here. They're trying to go in and score on their first drive. It's Moore back at quarterback. He's got Robinson to his right in the gun. He will give it to Robinson left side, tries to cut it outside, ducks back inside, and he's going to get down at the 5-yard line. It was a gain of 2, and it's 2nd and goal.
Hole opened up kind of quick, but closed up just as quick.
And it's so dangerous in that Jaden Moore package. He's going to go to the sideline, and Marcus Hines is back out there. You know, it's kind of interesting. Coming into this game, Moore has actually thrown more passes than Hines has, but when Hines is not a quarterback, sometimes he'll play a little wide receiver, but when Moore's not a quarterback, he's still on the field every single down almost. Although he is on the sideline here as Hines goes under center with Robinson in the backfield. 2nd and goal from the 5. It's play action, rolling right, throwing towards the end zone, and it's dropped right around the 4-yard line through the hands of the senior tight end Nathaniel Jackson, and it will be 3rd and goal.
Big play coming up right here. That's defense to make a stand, hold them to a field goal attempt would be it would be a big win.
Yeah, Concordia thought they had gotten off the field on a 3-and-out. Kind of a phantom roughing the passer penalty, and then a big 32-yard run from Jaden Moore. That's how Loyola got here. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line as it is Hines in the shotgun with Robinson to his left. He's looking right. He's going to throw into one-on-one coverage, looking for Moore. It's knocked away.
Nice play by Josh Derry.
Broken up by Derry. He went one-on-one with Moore, and the field goal unit is coming on for Loyola. So obviously the Saints thought they were going to give up a 0, but in where that drive was going, huge stop to only give up 3. And hey, this isn't an automatic kick at the high school level either.
That was a great defensive
3-point deficit.
Well, it's time for Jordan Brooks. He's had a pretty good year. This is the kind of game where you want to see a guy like that really shine. I think we'll see maybe more of the running game that we saw against St. Mary's. They have the lightning and thunder combination. It'll be interesting to see how they come out. They have some packages that they used against St. Mary's that maybe we'll see tonight too.
Yeah, they got a lot of options. That thunder and lightning with Keenan Gilchrist and Jaden Alston, as it will be the kicker, Connor Becks. He has been a weapon for Loyola this year, the senior kicker. He's missed only 1 kick all year. He can put the ball into the end zone. He can also kind of place the ball around the field sometimes on these kickoffs and make it difficult for the return team. But Loyola in the blue, Concordia in the white, as Bex will kick it away, a 3-0 lead for the Dons, and Derry will field it around the 10-yard line, slips through his first hole that he sees, and he's out across the 25-yard line, and that is where Concordia is going to start with the football just shy of the 30. So a nice return right there from Derry, and they got him out to the 30-yard line, so a nice little pickup there, and solid starting field position. And as you mentioned, Jordan Brooks is out to the field, the junior quarterback for Concordia, number 8 in white, the St. Francis transfer, who has come in and played a big role on this Concordia team. 55% passer, needs 4 yards today to get to 1,000 passing on the season. But on the first play, he's going to give it off in the run game. Breaking a tackle is Alston. Jaden Alston is across midfield. And oh boy, the run game gets a great start.
Jaden Austin has been the spark in the backfield. He runs downhill. He runs hard. He is a tough back to bring down, especially once he gets into the second level like that. He has that extra gear.
Yeah, he broke a tackle to get into that second level, and that's how you punch a defense in the mouth on the first play. 24 yards on play number 1 on the carry for the junior back, Jaden Alston. And it's 1st and 10 for the Saints from the Loyola 46-yard line. Fake it to Alston. They will throw it out wide to Everett Dingle. He's got a little bit of space, and he is down to the 40-yard line. And that's the guy they want to get the ball to, Miles. Really at any time, they're trying to get the ball to Dingle.
Everett Dingle, I had been calling him Mr. Excitement through the season. Every time he gets his hands on the ball, usually something good happens.
So it's a gain of 6. And listen, for Jordan Brooks, who can throw a good deep ball, he can throw a ball into the seam, you want to get him started right. And that's a quick little screen pass, an easy throw, easy catch. You get 6 yards, and the confidence goes is with that completion, Brooks is up over 1,000 passing yards on the season. 2nd and 4 from the 40. He's going to throw that screen to the other side for Dingle. Got space, got the first down. He's inside the 30, still going inside the 25, and he's down to the 22-yard line, finally tackled by Shane Elliott. But here come the Saints.
Everett Dingle made the play, ran hard, never gives up on it. He just continues to churn forward, and he has that speed that when he breaks a tackle, he's dangerous.
So Dingle on the catch and run. A gain of 18 and a first down. You know, we talked to head coach Joe Battaglia this week, and we talked about how Concordia's probably got the best defense in the B Conference. Loyola's probably got the best offense in the B Conference, and Loyola put up 41 points on Concordia the last time they played, and we asked, you know, if you get into a track meet, high-scoring game, how confident are you in your offense? And he said very, as Jaden Alston breaks another tackle up the middle, inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line for a gain of 4.
Jaden Alston just runs hard. He hits that hole, and he runs hard.
It'll be a 2nd and 6 as the Saints enter the red zone on their first drive. 2nd and 6 from the 18 of Loyola. And Coach Battaglia said he feels, you know, even though his offense has not played a lot of high-scoring games this year, he feels that if they get in that situation today, that they can convert. And so far they are showing they're not going to back down from this Dons defense. 2nd and 6 from the 18. As Brooks takes the snap, he'll fake it, throw over the middle. He's got Dingle, made a great leaping catch. He sneaks his way inside the 15, and he is close to a first down. They are looking at the marker, and he's going to be a yard short. It's going to be a 3rd and 1 for Concordia here.
Jordan Brooks is throwing the ball with confidence tonight. Last couple of games I've seen that he's thrown, he hasn't looked as confident he's looked on these first couple of throws tonight.
Yeah, he's 3 for 3 passing, all to Dingle. And Brooks getting that call from the sideline. They get the big package in there, as it's going to be a 3rd and 1 from the 13-yard line. 10 on the play clock here. 6:15 to go in this first quarter as the Saints trail 3-0. Now 5 on the play clock. Brooks will give it up the middle. Stuffed at the line. They're not going to get it. It may have even been a loss of 1, and now it's decision time for Joe Battaglia as Jaden Alston loses a yard. It'll be a 4th and 2. And you can see Everett Dingle pointing, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they're having that conversation with Brooks right now, and the offense is going to stay on the field. 4th and 2 from the 14. They got to get to the 12-yard line to keep the drive alive. The kicker, the sophomore Ryder Bentz, has been solid this year, but this is an opportunity in the red zone where Battaglia and his staff feel like they got to get 7. It's Alston in the backfield in the shotgun. 4th and 2 for Brooks and the Saints. Almost had him jump there. High snap, gives it up the middle. They're not going to get there. The tackle for loss in the backfield is made by a couple of Dons who come away with a big play. Jason Hill, the big defensive tackle, was there first, and the Saints turn it over on downs.
The hole didn't quite open wide enough for him to get in there and explode into it. Nice play by Loyola to shut it down.
Yeah, the Loyola defense stepped up there. It was 3rd and 1, and they went loss of one on the next 2 running plays to a guy in Jaden Alston who is tough to bring down. And Loyola will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 15-yard line here. The Dons took it down and got 3 points on their first drive. 5:18 to play in this first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 15 for Marcus Hines in the offense. Gives it left side to Robinson, cuts through the hole up the middle, and he's going to be taken down across the 20-yard line to the 22. He gets a gain of about 7 yards there before KK Matuge takes him down. So a nice gainer there for Robinson, and it'll be a 2nd and 3 from the 22. Marcus Hines, the junior who moved to quarterback from wide receiver this season and has kind of split those QB duties. He gives it to Robinson left side, very close to the marker, and they're going to mark him right at the 25, and the referee signals 1st down for Loyola. So a gain of 3. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Dons. And Miles, they've had a lot more success on the ground than they have through the air so far for this Loyola offense.
Yeah, and they're just getting just enough yards. Like, we'll see if they go back to the pass game, using the run to create the pass.
Yeah, they are 0 for 4 passing so far. Hines will give it to Robinson this time. He's going to be stuffed. May have gotten a yard, if that. And it will be 2nd and 10. The big bodies were in there for Concordia Prep, as Toyja Kelly was the first one to hit him.
They've been using that little deception move to kind of sleight of hand to sort of try to create the lane, but I'd like to see him go back to the air where Concordia's defense had a lot of success against them.
Yeah, they'll give Robinson 1 yard. It's going to be a 2nd and 9 from the 26 here. 3:44 and counting to go in the first quarter. Hines going to go under center here. Tight end going in motion. And he'll take the snap. Play action. Man in the backfield throws the screen. Got it complete, and it's going to be a short gainer there to Nathaniel Jackson. Stop was made at the 29-yard line in there for Concordia. A couple of guys got in on that tackle, and here comes a 3rd down. Looked like Marcus Hawkins got in there. So ball to 29-yard line, 3rd and 6 for the Dons offense here. They got to get out to the 35 for a 1st down. Concordia fans on their feet as we tick under 3 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
There's a big crowd here tonight.
A lot of fans supporting both of these sides at a neutral site here at Calvert Hall. In the shotgun is Hines, looking to throw. Throws over the middle, it's complete. Missed tackle, and the Dons got a 1st down. Looks like the Saints had a chance to wrap up Noah Bull about a yard short, but he broke the tackle and got out to the 37. It's a gain of 8 on 3rd and 6, and they move the chains.
Got to wrap up. It's a big part of the game. Wrap up and make the tackle.
Yeah, they actually mark him at the 38, so a gain of 9. Noah Bull, the senior receiver, came in with 14 catches for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns on the year. That right there was just the 2nd completion of the day. Back-to-back completions for Hines, and the first catch for Noah Bull on his 2nd target. So 1st and 10 from the 38. Hines is under center once again for the Dons. He's going to give it right up the middle, and not much going there, although Loyola gets a late push, and they'll pick up 3 yards with Micah Robinson. Looked like one of his offensive linemen and his tight end, Nathaniel Jackson, gave him a little shove.
Definitely physical up front right now.
Yeah, Concordia, one of the reasons why they are one of the best defenses is because of that defensive line. And, you know, they've got big bodies. Like, they look more assuming than a lot of the other defenses in the conference, but they're also 4, 5, 6 really talented guys that rotate in and out of there and can really stuff up the running lanes. 2nd and 7 from the 41-yard line for Loyola. Moore is back at quarterback, 1:25 to play in the quarter. He gives it up the middle, delayed handoff, and it's going nowhere. It's going to be a loss of 1 as Cam Allen Jones was in there along with Io Tafasi to make the stop. They actually gave it to the number 2 back, Kendrick Worthington, the freshman, and he lost a yard. Worthington, an interesting story, had not played until the playoffs for the varsity team. He came up to varsity for the postseason, got 7 carries for 53 yards last week in their 35-0 win over Boys Latin. And I guess Coach Zayu just said, you know what, let's get him back in there.
Stick with it.
And there he is on 3rd down. Ball at the 40-yard line. It's a 3rd and 8 with 40 seconds to go in the quarter. Hines back in at quarterback, looking to throw, pressure on him, gets it out to Moore. Moore on the outside, and he breaks the tackle, and he's out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line, and it's a 1st down again for Loyola. The ever-dangerous Jaden Moore does it again, a gain of 9 on 3rd and 8, and he got just enough to pick up the 1st down. Clock stops with 31 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line as Hines will go back under center for Loyola. He will give it left side to Robinson. He's across midfield, and he's swung down in Concordia territory around the 47. Gain of 4, and with the clock running, that could be our final play of quarter number 1. KK Matuge makes the stop on the 4-yard gain for Micah Robinson. Loyola's going to huddle. There is 10 seconds and running on the clock. They're looking up at the clock, and they're just going to let it run down at the end of this 1st quarter. So back and forth we go. Loyola with a field goal drive. Concordia went into the red zone on their 1st drive, but turned it over on downs. And after 1 quarter of play, it's Loyola 3, Concordia Prep nothing in the MIAA B Conference Championship game. We'll be back shortly for the 2nd quarter, live from Calvert Hall. Connor Newcomb Miles Goodman back here with you on the AC Sports Network on YouTube. Start of the 2nd quarter in the MIAA B Conference Championship game in the 2021 football season. It's Loyola 3 and Concordia Prep nothing. Dons have the ball. 2nd and 6 at the Concordia 47. It's a pass to Jaden Moore with a flag flying. He gets inside the 40,
that was
but
a block in the back.
That was
that's coming back.
It's not just a block in the back. It's a pretty clear block in the back. Because listen, I've never played or refed football, and as soon as I saw that one, I said, here comes the laundry, and it flew up in the air almost immediately.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I got to say, you know, we had a really late flag that aided Loyola to their field goal drive in the 1st quarter. That was about as quick as you'll see a flag come out of a referee's pocket.
And it couldn't have been any more obvious. It was right there. The official was standing like a. We got to post for a picture there, but the official was standing about.
Got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, the official was about a yard away from that.
So that negates the big gainer, which would have been a 1st down for Jaden Moore, and it backs up Loyola to their own 39-yard line. As it's going to turn this actually into a 2nd and 20 here for the Dons. So a big spot potentially for the Concordia defense. As Hines is in a quarterback, low snap, ball's on the turf. They wrap him up, and Hines was able to fall on it as Sone Matuge was in there for the sack. And it's going to be 3rd and a mile.
This is where you have to be careful not to get beat over the top. Play your standard cover defense, give up a few yards, but just don't get beat for the home run.
So it's a loss of another 7 yards. 3rd and 27 for Loyola here. Nice job, I got to say, by Marcus Hines to kind of calm himself and just fall on the football and not try to do too much, because if that becomes a turnover, you got a completely different scenario here. But 3rd and 27, they got to get to the Concordia 41 to keep this drive alive. They'll swing it out to Jaden Moore, and he breaks one tackle in the backfield, and he just goes out of bounds for no gain. And a great job by the Concordia defense, obviously aided by the block in the back penalty, but they just sat in their lanes, and they got a little bit of a break on the bad snap as well, but what they did is get off the field.
That's what they needed to do. Get the offense the ball. You got Everett Dingle going back, Mr. Excitement, to hopefully get his hands on this punt, and let's see where they take over.
So a 4th and 27 is probably not how Coach Anthony Zayu saw this drive ending, but Loyola's going to boot it away. Austin Dule, the junior punter, is back there for the Dons. He is standing right around 20-ish yard line, and it is blocked, partially blocked, and it's going to be dropped. Concordia muffed the football, and I believe the Saints fell on it. That was almost disaster. Marcus Hawkins, and it will be Saints football. My, oh my, that could have flipped this game on its head, as obviously once that punt's blocked, I mean, if Concordia just lets it roll, they're going to get the ball wherever it goes, but you can't really blame Hawkins there. He didn't have a lot of guys around him. He saw the ball. He's a ball hawk in safety, and he saw open grass in front of him.
He had the angle to catch the ball. He just didn't make the catch. But to the partial block of the punt, and then trying to make the catch, that was what he really should do. He just didn't handle it, but he kept his composure and recovered the ball. So Concordia is in really good field position, well inside the 50, almost at the 40, 41, 42-yard line to start this drive.
1st and 10 from the 42. Jordan Moore is going to fake a throw. He's going to run right side. He's got a lot of space, and he's got a first down. Out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A gain of 12 as Jordan Brooks uses his legs right there. He's been solid on the ground this year. Now, it's tough to get a gauge on the rushing stats for the QBs because at the high school and the college level, the sack yardage takes away from your rushing yards for the quarterbacks, but he has still been not as big a weapon as, say, a Jaden Moore on the other side, but still a weapon with his legs.
Early in the season, he was running the ball more than he has the last couple of games, but when he does decide to run, he has deceptive speed, and he can pick yardage like that up for you.
So it's a gain of 12. It's a 1st and 10 for Concordia at the Loyola 30. And here's that package we saw last week, Miles, the Wildcat, with Everett Dingle at quarterback and Keenan Gilchrist at running back.
Look for Josh Derry.
Derry's going to get the little pop pass on the left side, gets a block from Gilchrist. There goes Derry off the sideline towards the end zone. He is in for the touchdown. The Wildcat works, and Joshua Derry 30 yards to the house, and the Saints have the lead.
Josh Derry ran that play. Everett Dingle to Josh Derry last week against St. Mary's when they needed to run the game out. Basically, it's the same play that they ran, and Josh Derry was explosive. And originally, you almost couldn't tell if Everett Dingle was taking it himself or he was flipping it over to Josh Derry.
So Derry gets his 5th touchdown of the season for the junior wide receiver, who I asked Coach Battaglia one word on him early in the season. He just said explosive. And that is what we saw right there, a 30-yard touchdown. Ryder Bentz, the sophomore kicker, out for the extra point. Dingle is the holder. The kick from Bentz is up, and it is good with 9:53 to go in quarter number 2. The Saints punching back. Concordia Prep leads it 7-3 over Loyola. And now, Miles, this is not as important in terms of the game, but it is in the stats. I wanted to get your opinion. Did Everett Dingle get a passing touchdown there?
I believe so.
Because we know from this play, which is run a lot in the NFL and especially in college now, the little wide receiver comes in motion, the pop pass. And now Derry was very close to Dingle when he got the ball. But I think that ball was shoveled just enough where Everett Dingle just got his first career touchdown pass.
I would believe so. The ball came out of his hands, went forward. It's a forward pass because it can't be a forward lateral, and he didn't
hand it
go
off.
behind. Yeah, didn't hand off, and he didn't lateral behind. So I believe that was a touchdown pass.
So it'll be the 5th receiving touchdown for Josh Derry this year, who also came in with over 500 receiving yards to lead the team. He's up at 571 on the year now. And the first career touchdown pass for Everett Dingle, who has actually not found the end zone much this year. He's basically done everything for about 90 yards of the field, it seems, and he hasn't exactly found the end zone much. That's been Derry's job, and Alston and Gilchrist, but he gets himself a touchdown pass right there. As Ryder Bentz will boot it away, 7-3 Concordia with 9:53 to go in quarter number 2. Here come the Dons. They had a good kick return to start the game, and out to the 30-yard line. Another pretty good return there from Jonas Kliggies. And he will get his team out to the 30-yard line.
This has been a way you expect a championship game to be played. There have been a little bit of everything. There's been offense, defense, there's been some officials, there's controversy, but this is what you expect out of a championship game.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Loyola with 9:45 to go in quarter number 2. Concordia Prep just turning a partially blocked punt. They had a short field, and it was a 42-yard touchdown drive, and, well, it took 2 plays. It's a 12-yard run from the quarterback, Jordan Brooks, and a 30-yard pop pass from the wide receiver, Everett Dingle, to the wide receiver, Joshua Derry, for the touchdown to make it 7-3. Now Marcus Hines is under center. He'll give it to Moore, and a flag flies as they were trying to get the end around going to Jaden Moore. And, yeah, that was interesting. That play clock, I kind of noticed it while Loyola was still huddling on the sideline. The play clock was under 20, and Loyola was still on the sideline, and they kind of made it for themselves almost impossible to get that snap off. So they'll back it up 5 yards, and they'll have a 1st and 15 from their own 25-yard line. And I got to say, you know, Loyola beat Concordia Prep 41-9 2 weeks ago, but Concordia's brought more energy so far in this game. They're going to try the same play again, Moore, and he's going to lose yards. Interesting to run the same play after the team just saw it on the delay of game, and the Saints are ready for it.
Yeah, if you're Concordia, you have to put that loss 2 weeks ago. You got to put that away, put that out of your memory, and you just come out and play tonight. It's a championship game. But, yeah, that was an interesting play call to go back to the same play that was called back for the delay of game.
So they lose 5 on the delay of game. They run the same little jet sweep play, and they lose 5 more. It is 2nd and 20 from their own 20-yard line here for Loyola. 9:34 to go in quarter number 2 with the Saints on top 7-3. And now Hines will go into the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers out to each side here. Hines going to look to throw, and he throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Receiver wasn't looking, and Marcus Hawkins was that close to an interception. And it looked like Shane Elliott just didn't turn around and look at the football for the Dons.
And see, when you see Marcus Hawkins make a play like that, that's why he tried to make that play on the punt. He's a ball hawk. He's in the middle of the field. He knows the game, and that was the right play to try to field that punt.
So a 3rd and 20 here. Miles, on Loyola's last drive, they found themselves in a 3rd and 27, and they ran a play for no gain. Now they're in a 3rd and 20, backed up on their own 20. What do they do here?
I think we're going to see a pass play. We're going to see him go vertical.
See if they can get it to Moore. Hines looking that way. Now throws the other way. It's a screen. They pick out the running back, and Robinson has nowhere to go with a couple of flags down. Robinson is going to end up getting 3 yards on the screen pass.
It's holding on the offense.
And it is, and Concordia is going to decline that penalty, and it's going to be a 4th and long and back-to-back punts for Loyola. And this is where, if you're the Dons offense, you got to really start to think, because if not for that roughing the passer late penalty on that first drive, you'd have 3 punts and essentially almost 3 3-and-outs from the Loyola offense so far.
Concordia's defense is playing with a lot of speed tonight.
Concordia had an extra guy on the field, and they're going to get hit with too many men, so it's not going to change the play. It was 4th and 17. It'll make it a 4th and 12. What it will do for the Dons is help their punting position a little bit here.
A late substitution.
Although Coach Battaglia may have gotten a timeout there. Nicely done. He's a little hobbled out there as he's got the boot on the left foot, but he was able to get there in time to call that timeout and avoid the 5-yard penalty. So 9:08 to go in the second quarter. It will still be a 4th and 17. And Loyola is going to punt here. And now if you're Concordia, you've turned a short field into a touchdown, and you've turned a normal drive into getting stuffed at the 15-yard line when they drove all the way down the field. And credit to Loyola, they made a great stop on 3rd and 4th and 1 on that drive. But the Concordia offense, we always thought today Concordia defense is better, Loyola offense is better. We'll see how it comes together. Concordia has been better on both sides of the ball so far. So much of the game is based on confidence. The more you can build your confidence, you can see the defense has gotten a huge amount of confidence, but you can see the offense, the confidence is building. They can take this and move for another score. Well, that was an interesting punt. Yeah, that was Connor Becks, the kicker, who takes some of the punts. Dulé punts some of the other ones, and he booted that one away and got off a solid kick, but it's still going to be good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 42 for Concordia Prep. It's funny, when I got here this evening, I thought it was going to be this really cold night, all bundled up and ready, and I feel like I could be out there playing. I'm so warm right now. Yeah, I got to say, everyone in this stadium today is just in great thanks that there is no wind here tonight. It is a still night. Now, it's cold, and we're going to get below 40 here pretty soon, but without the wind, you can put the gloves on, put the hat on, get the jacket, and you're good to go. And out there on the field without the wind, you're running around. I'm sure these guys aren't even feeling it too much. Jordan Brooks at quarterback, 1st and 10 from the 42, gives to Jaden Alston, and he is stuffed. Was able to push his way back to the line of scrimmage, but there is the star on defense, Anto Saka, the senior defensive end, Northwestern commit, as he is headed to the Big Ten next year. And Miles, he had some big offers. He turned down places like Penn State and others to go to Northwestern. The education part was big for him, I know, as well, to go play for the Wildcats. But it's really the first time we've called his name, as he basically has seen a double team almost every snap all season. Well, you got a key on the guys that you know that are going to be dominant, so that would be the guy. If you're going to look at the offense, you're going to look at defense, that's the guy you're going to double team from your offensive line. Yeah, he's arguably the best player on the field tonight, but the question is, how much of a difference will he make? As we get a throw out here and a completion to Marquise Edmond, and Edmond gets himself pretty close to midfield. And I think right at midfield. Yeah, it's a nice little gainer, and it'll make it a manageable 3rd and 2 here for Concordia. Edmond with just his 5th catch of the year. He hasn't been super involved in the passing game. Now 5 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown on the season for the junior wideout Edmond, who they call Deuce. And he makes it 3rd and a deuce here for the Concordia offense with 8:04 to go in the first half. They get the big package in here, do the Saints. Josh Derry split out to the left. Sidney Stewart is in there at fullback, number 33 in white. Under center is Brooks. He'll give it to Alston. He's pushing forward, and he is mighty close to the marker. He's right at the 48-yard line, which is where that 1st down marker was. It's going to come down to the spot. Oh, man, I think they spotted him an inch short. They might get the chains out here and measure. And the referees are going to come together. And Gabe MacArthur can't believe it. He's saying 1st down. Concordia is saying 1st down, and they are going to measure this. It's going to be very close. So because, the only time you really get the ball directly on a yard line is on a touchback, sometimes there'll be a little bit of difference of where the marker actually is, so that's why you go and measure. So even though it looks like the ball is maybe not quite touching that 48-yard line, you never know where exactly that marker is, so they're going to bring them out. We have a pretty good view of this one. We are right even with the 48-yard line. And I think the Saints might go for this, even if it's short. And it is short. An inch. Yeah, the marker was right on the end of the hash mark, which makes a difference here. And it's about, it's legitimately, Miles, like 3 or 4 inches that ball is short of the marker. And they're still looking down and measuring this. And it is short. And so now they're going to move it. Well, I think what they're trying to do was make sure that they brought it into the hash mark at the exact distance short that it was. And now they're moving the ball a little bit. And what's the call? It's going to be 4th down and less than a yard. If I'm the Saints, I'm going for this, but I'm not the head coach who got this team to the championship. But immediately out to the field is Jordan Brooks. And now we get a whistle, and the referees are going to come together. So it looked like they measured. And when they put the chain down, it was, as I said, about 3 inches short. And then they moved the football to put it inside the hash. And now Joe Battaglia wants an explanation. And obviously we have no replay review here in the MIAA. Maybe coming soon, not this year.
I'm not sure where the official's going.
Is he going to the replay monitor that we don't know about? Is he talking to New York? This is the point where we would go to Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira in New York.
Are we?
Did they turn the ball over?
Can't be. It's got to be fourth down.
No, so Brooks is out there. Saw a couple of bodies like Hawkins come out there who doesn't play as much offense.
I think this is the big package.
The big boys are out there. It's 4th and an inch from the Loyola 48-yard line for Concordia. 7:48 to go in the first half. We could see a pooch punt here from Brooks, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He pooch punts it. We'll see what kind of roll it takes. It takes a Concordia roll, and what a punt there from Jordan Brooks.
Good call, Connor, because
I've seen that before.
Coming.
As soon as Brooks took those 2 steps back, you know where I've seen it a lot, Miles? You know who used to do it a lot in his younger days?
John Unitas?
Well, that's a little before my time. But Ben Roethlisberger used to pull that one off a lot, especially when they were in those 13-10 games with Baltimore. They'd get a 4th and 1 around the 50. He'd take those 2 steps back in the shotgun.
Oh, was it Ben or with Cordell Stewart?
Stewart would do it too.
Stewart, I remember him doing that.
And he'd take, and Stewart, and sometimes Ben to throw him off, take those 2 steps back.
I think you're right.
To get yourself, it gives you just enough time to catch it, take a step, and just punt it straight in the air,
That was a really good call, and then you called it, and I was wondering why Jordan Brooks wouldn't have been like under center, because I was thinking quarterback sneak here, for the 3 inches, but when he lined up back, I was like, that's really interesting formation.
And you know what I got to tell you?
A couple inches.
That's why Marcus Hawkins was on the field then, is because they knew they were going to punt, and he was going to be on punt coverage team just in case somebody from Loyola got back there. And so I wonder if the Dons saw that beforehand.
That was a heads-up call by Coach Joe Battaglia and a heads-up call by you, Connor.
I feel like all the hours I've spent watching NFL Red Zone paid off right there. 1st and 10 for Loyola in their own territory. Hines looking to throw. He's pressured. He steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be taken down by 4 Saints after he gets a short gain. Looked like it was Sone Matuge who was in there along with his brother KK.
His receivers were all covered downfield.
And a nice job by Hines. He kind of evaded that first pressure, got up in the pocket, and he got himself to the 18. This drive started at the 15, so it's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 18-yard line as the clock now ticks under 7 minutes to go in half number 1. Hines is in the gun. Looking to throw again. Rolling right, now steps up. He's going to scramble again, and he's going to be a yard short of the first down marker. Gabe MacArthur got in there to kind of flip him, and now a Saints defender, actually 2 Saints defenders, are down on the play. We're going to get a stoppage here, 6:41 to go in the first half. Loyola has a 3rd and 1 when we come back.
It's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the
So the Concordia Prep senior linebacker Gabe MacArthur is helped to the sideline there as he was down for a while. But as we return, 3rd and 1 for the Loyola offense at their own 24. Marcus Hines under center. He'll give it up the middle right side and a 1st down. Strong, powerful run there from Micah Robinson. He picks up 3 on 3rd and 1, and Loyola able to move the chains for the first time since their opening drive.
Cam Allen-Jones was also down on that same play. He got up, and he looks good now.
Yeah, he had to come out for that one play because he was down, but Allen-Jones just checked back into the game. He is the leading tackler for Concordia Prep, the freshman linebacker, so he's back in, but they had their 2 top linebackers go down on the same play. And hopefully we hope the best for Gabe MacArthur, who's been such a big part of this program. Jaden Moore is going to fake the give. He's going to go right side, so electric. And he gets himself out towards the 30-yard line, just across the 30 on the play. And honestly, you know, Concordia pretty much kind of bottled him up there. I mean, he got a gain of about 4. But he even looks electric when he gets 4 yards, and he's so shifty with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he is that, like, that elusiveness that he's really hard, and he's really quick and elusive and really hard to tell which direction he's going to go next.
Yeah, they pushed him out of bounds to 31 is a gain of 4. So 2nd and 6 from the 31-yard line. 6 minutes on the dot to go in this first half as the Loyola offense out there trailing 7-3. Hines back in the game at quarterback. Snap hits him in the head. It falls on the ground.
Loose.
Ball is loose. The Saints are on it. Concordia recovers, and the big man high-stepping towards the end zone. It's KK Matuge, and the Saints have it back.
Turnovers and penalties, those are the big things you have to avoid in championship-level play.
Miles, I gotta say, the things that happened to Concordia in their 41-9 loss to Loyola 2 weeks ago are happening to the Dons this time.
Well, if that had happened 2 weeks ago, Loyola would have recovered it and thrown it for a touchdown.
Picked it up and thrown it down the field.
Yeah, that's actually what happened in that game, where it was a fumble like that. Quarterback, I think it was quarterback, then picked it up, and he had a receiver 30, 40 yards down the field for a touchdown. Tonight, the ball's bouncing a little bit differently so far.
So they fumble it, 1st and 10 from the 25 for Concordia. The Wildcats back out there. They're 100% on scoring touchdowns in this formation tonight, and it's going to be a delay game against Concordia Prep. So we've seen 2 delay games today, 1 on each side. For Loyola, it was after a kick return, so kind of a change of personnel and a start of new downs. And for Concordia, it was after a turnover. So it almost seems like whoever's operating the play clock has been a little quick on the trigger tonight and has kind of hurt each team. So it'll be a 1st and 15 from the 30. They stay in the Wildcat with Everett Dingle at quarterback, Keenan Gilchrist at running back, Derry in motion, fake to Derry. Dingle goes up the middle. Dingle's got space. He is all the way down to the 15-yard line, and I believe he's right at the marker, and he's got a 1st down. Gain of 15 for Everett Dingle.
Mr. Excitement, he's the guy. You want the ball in the guys' hands that are that athletic. So not that Jordan Brooks isn't, but situationally speaking, just to show the defense a different set is it's really hard to adjust to.
So the first time they run it, he does the pop pass to Derry. It goes for the 30-yard touchdown. Second time they run it, Loyola expecting the pop pass. He fakes it, goes right up the middle for 15 yards. So now they're thinking, what's next? As here comes the Wildcat again. Dingle and Gilchrist in the backfield. What do they do this time? 1st and 10 from the 15. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Dingle will go up the middle himself again. Dingle trying to force his way down towards the 10-yard line, and he'll be stopped at the 11. He'll get 4 yards, and it'll be a 2nd and 6.
2nd down for Concordia Prep.
And you mentioned last week, for Concordia, it was an 8-0 win, a grinded-out win over St. Mary's in the semifinal to get to this championship. And when they had the ball with about 5 minutes left, up 8-0, they went almost exclusively to this Wildcat, like you talked about, and just ran the entire clock out. Got like 3 first downs and ended the game.
Yeah, and it was a kind of game that could have turned because it was a one-possession game, and those 8 points were scored in a kind of unconventional way.
Dingle out there again. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to cut up the middle, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It's actually a fairly short gain for how much ground he covered.
The Loyola player.
And we got a 3rd and 3 here with a Loyola player down. That's Liam Powell. And we'll step aside. Oh, no, we'll stay here for this injury as Powell gets up and limps slightly off the field with 4 minutes on the dot to go in the first half. And this is a huge play right here, as it is 3rd and 3 from the 8-yard line for Concordia. Got to get to the 5 for a first down. They lead 7-3, clock rolling again, 3:50 and counting to go. Now, another thing to think about, we are now in the middle 8. Concordia deferred to start the game, so they will receive the kickoff to start the second half. And again, it's Wildcat, as Jordan Brooks just trots out to the far left side as a wide receiver. It's Dingle and Gilchrist once again on 3rd and 3.
Where's Josh Derry? He's in the slot.
He's coming in motion, and Dingle's going to keep it, and Dingle's bottled up. Loyola was in there. It was Aiden Parson who got the first hit on him, I believe. The senior linebacker with his 5th tackle for loss of the year. And they get him at the 9 for a loss of 1. So it'll be 4th and 4 from the 9-yard line, 3:10 to go in the half. Ryder Bentz, this is well within his range. Be about a 26, 27-yard field goal for the sophomore kicker that could put you up by 7. But the offense is going to stay on the field for now.
Interesting decision.
And I honestly would not be surprised if Joe Battaglia runs the play clock down, calls a timeout, and then really talks this over, because this is a key decision in this game.
Yeah, Ryder Bentz is pretty good. We've seen him, I think, connect up to a 42-yarder.
Yeah, they're going to do this, Miles. They're going to call the timeout here. And Joe Battaglia runs it down. So there is 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half. It's 7-3 Concordia Prep. They're facing a 4th and 4 at the Loyola 9-yard line. Got to get to the 5 for a first down if they go for it. If they kick it, 26, 27-yard field goal, which is within the range of Ryder Bentz, their sophomore kicker. And again, Concordia does get the ball to start the second half. So, Miles, I ask you, we did see Concordia not go to Bentz last week when they were up 2-0 after the safety. They scored a touchdown to go up 8-0 in the third quarter. You figured you kick the extra point, you go up 9 by 2 possessions, but Concordia actually went for 2 in that scenario. And so we'll see what they do here, and it is going to be a field goal.
Yeah, I think this is the right call here. The call in the other game, I think it was early in the third quarter, and I think Coach Joe Battaglia was trying to extend the lead to 10-0. Here, I think this is the right call.
It's going to be a 26-yard field goal for the sophomore kicker, Ryder Bentz. As the holder is Everett Dingle, Bryce Davis is the long snapper. Dingle puts it down, the kick is blocked. The kick is blocked, and it is going to be picked up by Concordia. They run it into the end zone, and it's a touchdown! It's a touchdown!
And a flag, probably for celebrating.
Bryce Davis ran it into the end zone. The long snapper. Now, the rule, Miles, I believe, is if Loyola touches the football, it's live. So the Dons must have tried to pick it up. And then Bryce Davis, who plays some offensive line, is also the long snapper on field goals. The junior with the moment of his life, if this counts as a touchdown. This could be the biggest play of a championship game. So the flag is out, and the referees have a lot to discuss. There's 2:21 on the clock, and they signal touchdown, and right now they've given the Saints the 6 points on the scoreboard as we sit here. So if they wave it off, it'll be Don's ball.
I thought the flag came well after the play.
Yeah, maybe
that
for
looked
celebration.
Like for celebrating.
So Joe Battaglia signaling touchdown. The refs all kind of looked at each other, Miles, and then one of them just signaled touchdown.
Everybody's signaling touchdown, all the players. I don't know what they've heard. There it is.
It is a touchdown. My goodness. This is going to be one that's going to be talked about for a while, because I'm not 100% sure of the rule, but the ball is not immediately live, I don't believe, once it's blocked.
No, it's definitely not.
I think it has to be picked up or attempted to be picked up.
Well, or it has to be touched by the
next player.
Right, in order then for it to change possession and back. But in the whole scrum that was taking place up front, couldn't see what happened and who recovered it and how they actually got in the end zone.
So what I can...
So now we've got the for the extra point.
Yeah, it was an unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown against Concordia. So they'll back up 15 yards either on the kickoff or the extra point. So right now it's 13-3 Saints with 2:21 to go in the first half. I believe Loyola has elected to enforce it on the kickoff, which is probably a smart idea at this point in the game. You can get really good field position. And Ryder Bentz is on to attempt the extra point. Remember, they just got a kick blocked, and he's going to kick it again at 13-3. So they go for the field goal, Miles, and they end up with the touchdown.
That's quite a turn of events there.
And that one got off from Bentz, and he puts it through. 2:21 to go, 14-3. Concordia Prep leads Loyola.
He just barely got that one off.
I mean, have you ever seen that before? I mean, there was that snow game in the NFL years ago.
I've not seen a play quite like that where it was, we got another flag.
Did Concordia just get another sideline penalty? This could be 30 yards on the kickoff, which with 2:21 in the half could really change this Loyola drive in their 2-minute drill. But
why would you have gotten a flag, like a dead ball flag, a dead ball penalty? Was that then was that to go with the warning that
I wonder
was called
if it was sideline warning number 2.
Yeah, that Joe went out, Coach Battaglia went out beyond the restraining line.
So we got a lot to sort out. What we do know is it's Concordia Prep 14, Loyola 3 with 2:21 to go in the first half. And, you know, the game I'm thinking of, Miles, I'm not sure who was in it. I think it was in Buffalo in maybe the late 90s where it was a playoff game or a late season game and there was a blocked field goal and everybody said don't touch it. A defensive player went over to try and jump on it, and because it was snowing, it slipped through his hands, and the offensive team picked it up and got the ball back.
Was that like Buffalo and the Raiders, the Bills
I
and
believe
Raiders?
So, yeah. And that's the only time I can think of that. That's at the NFL level. So Concordia just got its second sideline warning, which I believe is a second 15-yard penalty, as Joe Battaglia is once again having a chat with the officials. And yeah, so that's 30 yards of unsportsmanlike penalties, one on the touchdown, one on another sideline warning. So Ryder Bentz is going to kick this ball off from, it looks like they're going to put him at the 20, and that is because they both have, the second one is half the distance, I
think
believe.
that's a little bit of an overreach call right there after a touchdown and your head coach goes out to talk to your team.
Yeah. I don't think they tacked on another 15, so I believe.
So it's just another warning?
I believe he's just kicking from the 20-yard line here, because I think he'd be kicking from further back if it was 2:15 yards. But Loyola with 2:21 to go in the quarter, they're going to get some good field position to try and score before the half.
And they have 2 timeouts.
So Ryder Bentz, after nailing that extra point, after his field goal was blocked, he bombs one down the field. Micah Robinson's going to field it inside the 20, but he's going to get a good return here, and Robinson is taken down at the 49-yard line, just shy of midfield. As a nice return there from Micah Robinson.
He runs hard too, right up the middle. He just strong run. He goes right. He takes the lane and goes as hard as he can.
And it looked like it was Ashton Roy, among others, in there on the tackle. So Loyola 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line, 2:13 to go in this first half. As you said, they have 2 of their 3 timeouts still as Moore comes in motion with Hines in the shotgun. They got pressure on him. He throws to the right. It's complete, and he got his man Moore down at the 40 as he was ripped down by Josh Derry. He swings him down to the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 12 and a first down for the Dons.
He got that away under pressure, too.
So completion to Moore for 12 yards. I'll give him 11. They'll mark him right at the 40, but still it is 1 yard past the marker and a first down. So clock stops at 2:05 to go in the half. Again, they still have the 2 timeouts. Dons trailing by 11. They're going to need at least 3. They got to get some points here before the half, especially with that field position they got. Hines, the junior quarterback, is in the gun. Clock still stops at 2:05. He'll take the snap. Pressure coming up the middle. He'll throw deep. One-on-one coverage. It's incomplete, and a flag flies. They were looking for Noah Bull, and it's going to be a pass interference against Josh Derry, and that'll be 15 yards and a first down for Loyola. And it was one of those plays, you see it all the time at every level, the underthrow on the deep ball where the receiver has to fight back for it and essentially just runs into the DB, and it's almost a play where you can't fault the DB, but it's also technically a penalty.
Correct. And the fortunate thing here is that it's a spot foul. It's not a spot of the foul. It's a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul.
Right, and so that ball would have been at like the 5-yard line. Instead, it's 15 yards. It'll go to the 25. That's where Loyola has it 1st and 10. They still got 1:56 on the clock, so they got plenty of time as they are just 25 yards from the end zone. It is Moore in the shotgun as he's going to fake the give. He's going to go left. He's got some space. He gets to the sideline, and he is forced out of bounds there by Tracus McCullough. And he gets inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. It is a gain of 7 yards. Then it'll be a 2nd and 3 from the 18. Clock stopped at 1:48 here for Loyola.
Concordia had been bringing the pressure on the quarterback. If he drops back to pass, look to see more pressure coming from the defensive line.
Just a really interesting 2 QB system that Anthony Zayu and the Dons employ here with Hines and Moore. Now, Moore will throw the ball, but we haven't seen him do it yet today. Now Hines will look to throw. He's going to move left. He's going to be bottled up. Tried to step up in the pocket, and Toyja Kelly said, "You're not going anywhere." It's a loss of 2 as Kelly gets the sack, and it's 3rd and 5 for Loyola.
They're collapsing the pocket up front. The pressure coming from the front 4 is more than Loyola can handle right now.
So the clock's running, 1:25 and counting with 35 on the play clock. And if Concordia gets a stop here, they'll probably call. I believe they have 1 timeout left, or do they not have any timeouts?
I think they have 1.
If they have 1, they're probably going to call it if they get the stop. But Loyola's going to let the clock run. 1:10 and counting. They can run it all the way down to 50 seconds before they have to snap it. 3rd and 5. Hines in the gun.
Here comes
rolling
the pressure.
Right. Pressure coming. He's hit as he throws. It's incomplete. And now a flag flies late. It was in the area of a block as Hines got hit again. The flag was in the area. Sone Matuge was kind of latched up with Matt Marath, the senior left guard for Loyola, and that's where the flag flew, and Marcus Hines is down on the field at the moment. So we got a lot to sort out with 58 seconds to go, and without the flag, it's a 4th and 5 from the 20-yard line, but we'll see. It is an offensive penalty that Concordia will decline, and it will be a 4th and 5 as Hines now is walking gingerly to the Loyola sideline. Now the question is, does Coach Battaglia want to back them up out of field goal range?
I think he declined it. I thought I saw the signal, the official, that was declined.
Now it's still a tough field goal from here. It'd be about a 42-yarder. The season long for Connor Becks is 39, the Loyola kicker.
He's got a good leg. He's been able to drill, he can hit the long one, but looks like the penalty was declined. So it's 4th down.
So it's a 4th and 5 coming up here. And with Hines going down, Jaden Moore, the sophomore, is back in at quarterback. Remember, he hasn't thrown a pass yet tonight. And Loyola is going to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts right here to talk it over.
It's a big play, pivotal play. You stop them here and get the ball back with 50 seconds to go. You pretty much just run the clock out, and then Concordia gets the ball to start the second half. This is a pivotal play to end the first half.
Yeah, it's a good point there, Miles, because Concordia only has the 1 timeout. There's under a minute, and even if they get it back, it's going to be around their own 20. With them getting the ball, they'd probably just take a knee. So this half now that we're under a minute is all about this play, and the Loyola kicker is on the field. They are going to try to kick this, I believe, as Connor Becks is on the field.
So it's a 42-yard field goal.
Yeah, the senior kicker.
He's got the leg. I've watched him kick.
Or excuse me, not 42. It's from 37. My math was a little off on the fly. So his season long is 39. This is within his range, as he made from 23 earlier. He's 14 of 15 on field goals this season. From 37 yards to bring the Dons within a possession. Kick is up, and it is no good. Left it short and to the right, and the Saints hold.
It didn't look like he got it square off his foot. He didn't hit it good.
Just the second missed kick of the season for Connor Becks.
Because that was definitely in his range.
Yeah, today he had hit from 23, which made him 14 of 15 on field goals and 31 of 31 on extra points. And he misses from 37. So the ball is at the 20, 52 seconds left. Concordia has one timeout. I would kneel down getting the ball to start the half.
I agree with you, Coach
maybe
Connor.
have something in their bag of tricks for one play.
I agree with you, Coach Connor. I would take a knee right here.
They'll actually have to kneel it twice because of how much time is on the clock, but I think they're going to be fine doing that as Concordia is in the victory formation, which is not exactly victory formation just yet. They got a lot of football to play, but Jordan Brooks is going to take a knee, and he'll do it one more time. He'll have to before the half, but I mean, after thinking back to what happened to this Concordia team 2 weeks ago against Loyola, they came out and showed that they were not scared of this team, and they showed also, Miles, that that game was more about untimely turnovers, weird possession flips, and it was not a 32-point game when you dig deeper into the box score. And Concordia showing they were ready to play today.
Yeah, I think you got to give a lot to the coaches that helped them through that and bringing them back to this point. When you can deal with that kind of adversity, losing like that, a lot of it goes to the coaching staff and having the kids believing in the system that it's going to work. And so far, this first half, they've come out with confidence. You can see, look at the body language of the players right now versus how it looked at halftime of 2 weeks ago when they were losing to Loyola.
So it's Concordia Prep 14, Loyola 3 as we hit the half here from Kelly Field at Calvert Hall in Towson. We've got one more half to go to decide a B Conference champion in the MIAA this fall. Join us back here in just a moment for the second half here on the AC Sports Network on YouTube. We're going to crown a champion when we return.
Over the past several months, blood, sweat, and tears have been shed by a special few to earn the title of Saints football player. A Saint must always be accountable. He must put others before himself and give his all for the betterment of the team. The Saint must always strive for greatness. He must have heart. He must be willing to push himself to the next level. Saints must be leaders and take the path less traveled, always striving to achieve what has yet to be done. Many wish to wear the red and white, but only a special few get the opportunity to carry our mighty silver shield into battle. We are tough. We are together. We are detailed. We are disciplined. We are the Saints of Concordia Prep.
Concordia Prep will receive the football to start the second half.
1 half down, 1 to go to decide a conference champion in the MIAA B Conference here in the 2021 fall football season in the Baltimore area. Connor Newcomb along with Miles Goodman here with you on the AC Sports Network on YouTube. Our halftime score, Concordia Prep 14, Loyola 3, and the Dons in the blue will kick it off to Concordia in the white to start this second half. And did want to mention pictures for tonight's game. John Bowers is all over it on the sideline taking pictures. If you'd like to purchase any photos from tonight's game, head to John's website, johncbowers.com, to get pics from tonight's championship game. Concordia on the kick return. They are across the 25 to start with the ball. And Miles, I mean, honestly, a dominant half in which you could argue Loyola didn't even really earn their 3 points, and the Saints went right down the field a couple of times.
Yeah, you take away the penalty on that first offensive series for Loyola, and it was a tough half for them offensively. Concordia's defense has played about as good a half as I've seen them play all season, and they have played well on defense all season.
So the Saints will start with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. 11:52 on the clock in the third quarter. Jordan Brooks in the shotgun. He'll give it up the middle to Jaden Alston, who's tripped up, and he swings his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Liam Powell in there on the stop. Good to see him back in the game. Came off limping late in that second quarter. Powell getting close to 100 tackles on his season for the sophomore linebacker, number 45 in blue.
This is kind of what it's all about. Championship game in November, Thanksgiving coming up. This is in Baltimore, just fun football time.
And the season not over for the Dons, short week. Of course, they've got the Turkey Bowl against Calvert Hall on Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, but you know, there's a lot of history in that game, but I gotta say this one's gotta mean more for Loyola. Championship game in the B Conference, 2nd and 7, they throw it out to Derry. Derry had to go backwards to catch the ball, and because of that, didn't have a lot of forward momentum, and Noah Bull hits him right at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Concordia from their own 31.
Yeah, that play never really got going. Pass was a little bit like behind him, where, like you said, he couldn't get momentum to turn it upfield.
Loyola looking for its first conference championship since 2008. Concordia looking for its first ever. In just their second season, our head coach Joe Battaglia, who has brought this program from the ground up.
This is their first playoff appearance.
It's been a lot that Coach Battaglia has been able to do for this program. High snap, Moore throws over the middle, ball batted up in the air, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Everett Dingle, and Nick DuBois made a fantastic play in coverage. The senior linebacker got his hand in there, and that was the perfect start to the half for Loyola. They forced the 3 and out, and the Saints will punt.
Yeah, they were coming with a blitz, and then they had good coverage on Everett Dingle there.
Saints trying to get off the field quickly, get on the field quickly, and force a too many men penalty, but they weren't able to do it. So they will punt it away on a 3rd and 7, as late onto the field there was Sone Matuge to block. And Ryder Bentz gets the punt away. It's going to bounce at the 45, and it takes a Loyola bounce, and it is down right around that 45-yard line as Marquise Edmond downs it just inside the 45. That is where the Dons will start their first drive of the half with 10:08 to go in the third quarter. So they're going to mark this football, I believe, at the 44-yard line, it looks like.
Good starting field position for the second half. Concordia used up barely 2 minutes there.
So 1st and 10 from the 44, 10:08 in the third. It's Concordia 14, Loyola 3, championship on the line. Dons get a 3 and out to start the second half. Now can they put some points on the board offensively? With Moore in the backfield at quarterback, he's going to give it up the middle to Robinson. Robinson cutting to his right. He gets across the 45, and he gains 3 yards and a cloud of dust. As in there for the tackle, Terrell Barty was there. Cam Allen Jones was in. Sone Matuge just rushing to the football. And it's a 2nd and 7 coming up from the 47.
Cam Allen Jones is a name you call a lot when it comes to tackling. And I think he, like you've been saying, he is the leading tackler on this team, but his name comes up a lot.
Hey, he was the leading tackler from day one. He was the leading tackler in the season opener as a freshman in his first high school football game. Moore keeps it on the left side. He gets across the 50, but Concordia was able to set the edge there just enough where we're kind of at the point here where when Jaden Moore gets the ball, you expect that he's going to gain yardage. You just got to try to bottle him up as much as you can.
Yeah, he's fast. He's explosive. He gets to the corner. You have to seal the corner to turn him inside so the rest of the defense can make the tackle.
He gets 5 yards. It's going to be a 3rd and 2 from the Concordia 48-yard line for the Loyola offense. Marcus Hines back in a quarterback under center. He's going to give to Robinson. Robinson bottled up, fighting forward. He's going to be really close.
Looks to be.
And I think they gave him the first down. He needed the 46.
Yeah, they did.
He got right to the 46, and it's a first down for Loyola. So he gets 2 yards on 3rd and 2 with that heavy package in there. As you see 4 players sub off after the 3rd and 2, that's how you know the big guys were in.
It must have been that a late push there that got him, because they really hit him early, and that last push got him over the first down.
1st and 10 from the Concordia 46, 8:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hines looking to throw over the middle, and it's complete. He's got his man, and ball's out. Ball's on the floor, and Concordia picks it up. Everett Dingle's got it, heading the other way, and he's going to be tackled by the right tackle, Trevor Szymanski. And a huge turnover forced by the Concordia defense.
There's no question about that. Very good pass, very good catch in traffic. And then the ball was knocked loose, and Everett Dingle, who's always around the ball, Mr. Excitement, comes up with it and gives Concordia a pretty good field position at the 32-yard line.
That was Shane Elliott, the junior wide receiver. That was his first catch of the day. Came in leading this team with 15 receptions on the year, but he made a football move, and then Concordia punched it out. Dingle hops on it, and the Saints have it back. 1st and 10 from the 32. They'll give to Alston. He finds a hole. He is across the 35, and he's out to the 38-yard line. Gain of 6 on 1st down for Jaden Alston.
That's a big turn of events. Loyola would have had the ball around the Concordia 25-yard line. Instead, Concordia is starting with it at the 32.
Would have been by far their most explosive passing play of the day. It was technically it still was, because he caught it, he gets the passing yards. But it ends in disaster for Loyola. 2nd and 4 from the 38 here for Concordia. 7:37 to go in the 3rd quarter, as they will give it left side to Alston, and he's tripped up. Nice tackle made by Liam Powell. That's a huge play. It's a gain of 1 for Alston, the junior transfer running back who came all the way from Charleston, South Carolina, and Stratford High School to join this Concordia team. Joe Battaglia knew Jaden because he coached him for the U.S. national team at the U17 level. And Taglia's had a chance to coach a couple of those under-18 USA football teams. Knew Jaden. Jaden wanted to change. His family wanted him to play for Coach Joe, and got him up to Concordia. So he picks up a yard. 3rd and 3 from the 39. 6:54 and counting to go in the 3rd quarter. Big play here. Saints already went 3 and out once in this 2nd half. And somebody flinched on the Concordia offensive line. We'll see who it was. Tough to tell from the referee. It looked like it was on the right side of the line.
It looked like maybe one of the tight end, wide receiver, somebody on the right side. I don't think it was an interior line. It was, I think, one of the receiver positions. Yeah, somebody just flinched.
Yeah, we'll see who ended up moving. It's kind of tough to tell who was over there on that right side at this point. But either way, back up the ball 5 yards, and this is a completely different play now. From 3rd and 3, we go to 3rd and 8 for Concordia, and the playbook changes significantly.
Look for Josh Derry here.
5 on the play clock, 6:24 on the game clock in the 3rd quarter. They're still going to run it with Alston. He has got nowhere to go. Anto Sacco was there to bottle him up, the star defensive end. And the Loyola defense, which was knocked around in the first half, has forced back-to-back 3 and outs to start this 3rd quarter. And Miles, more importantly, after the big turnover, that is absolutely what you need from your defense if you're Loyola.
Yeah, you need to 3 and out, get your offense back on the field. And they did it.
Ryder Bentz is going to kick it quickly. Back there to receive is Shane Elliott, who fumbled on that last drive. It takes a Concordia bounce, and Tracus McCullough is going to pick it up at the 32-yard line. And that is where Loyola will start with the football. Not as good starting field position as their last drive, which, you know, they hit that ball up the seam to Shane Elliott, made a nice throw, a nice catch, and he just put the ball on the turf.
Yeah, and this is kind of where you've into that change of field position. So Concordia kind of pushed it back, and right now you're not really looking at the clock yet, but you're kind of peeking at it.
Both these teams came in 8-2, 5-1 in the MIAA conference.
It was a three-way tie for the championship, and Loyola got it. Concordia was 2, and St. Mary's 3.
Yeah, the only loss for Concordia came to Loyola in conference play as Robinson breaks a couple of tackles.
He's tough.
He is a shifty runner. Cam Allen Jones took him down from behind with a little bit of help from KK Matuge.
He's a tough runner. You could see like 2 or 3 guys hit him, and he had to continue to wrap him up to bring him down.
This is the number 1 and number 2 seed in the playoffs, as Loyola was able to take down the 4 seed Boys Latin 35-0 last weekend. Concordia in the 2-3 game took out 3rd seeded St. Mary's 8-0. So neither of these teams gave up a point in the semifinal round. They, of course, each have conceded at least 1 score so far today in the 14-3 score line. Ball is at the 36. It's 2nd and 6 here for Loyola. Hines is going to give it, and that play was blown up. Toyja Kelly was into the backfield along with Terrell Bartee and Cam Allen Jones. Who else? And a 3rd and long coming up for Loyola.
Almost looked a little like a busted play a bit, but maybe not. But from this angle, it was almost like weren't sure exactly where they were going with it.
I think it was just a poorly executed draw. I think they were looking for the halfback draw, and the timing was just a bit off, and Concordia was in the backfield. 3rd and 9 from the 33 for the Loyola offense. 4:14 to go in the 3rd.
Comes the rush.
Hines going to throw deep. Down the sideline, he's got his man, and it is incomplete.
Woo.
He was looking for Leo Twist. Trachis McCullough, the junior kind of hybrid defender, had him played one-on-one, and Twist had a step. That ball was maybe just a touch too far towards the sideline.
Good coverage, but he did have maybe a half a step on him. If that ball had been on his hands, it might have been a big play. It
was a pretty good-looking ball for Marcus Hines, and Leo Twist, the senior receiver, came in with 14 catches for 151 and a touchdown this year.
I'd like to see Everett Dingle get his hands on the ball here and put us in. Oh, there's a high snap.
Oh, it's over his head. Beck's chasing after it. He's going to try to pick it up, and now he's going to try to punt it, and he does. Oh, what a play by Connor Becks.
That was pretty impressive.
And the ball rolls out to the 40-yard line. It's still going to be good field position for Concordia. But Connor Becks may have just saved the day for Loyola. If that goes any other way, it's either 2 points or potentially 6 points on the board for the Saints.
To keep your presence as a punter in that, to keep your head about you and your wits about you in that situation where 3 or 4 guys are trying to bring you down in a championship game at the 2-yard line, and you're still able to move to your right and punt that ball out there and still punt it about, we're about 38, about 39 yards.
From just ahead of his own goal line.
Yeah, I mean, that's a heads-up impressive play.
Remember last week, Concordia opened their scoring with a safety. That was because the St. Mary's long snapper snapped it over the punter's head in the back of the end zone. Wildcat here for Dingle, and that one's blown up. Liam Powell has been everywhere in this second half at linebacker for Loyola, and he stops Dingle for no gain.
Kind of did a little fake to Josh Derry and took it himself.
And so the last couple times they've run that Wildcat formation, it's less and less on the gainage, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 40, 3:28 and counting to go in the 3rd quarter. I mean, that play by Connor Becks may have kept them in this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's just a safety, it doesn't change the game too much. But if that turns into a touchdown,
or even Concordia getting the ball at the 2-yard line,
exactly,
to start their drive.
They're back in that Wildcat. Dingle tries to break it up the middle, breaks 2 tackles, and gets himself all the way to the 31. Gain of 9 for Everett Dingle, the senior wide receiver who Coach Battaglia called at the beginning of the year the best overall football player on his team and the Swiss Army knife for Concordia Prep, and he's showing that right now.
I like Mr. Excitement better.
He's got a lot of nicknames, and he got 8 yards there instead of 9. They mark him at the 32, so it does change things, 3rd and 1 versus 3rd and 2, but still a 3rd and 2, 2.5 to go in the 3rd quarter, and they stay in the Wildcat. Dingle in the shotgun. Keenan Gilchrist, who I believe has not had a carry yet tonight.
He's been playing mostly defense.
Yeah, and he's kind of playing decoy on offense in this set. They give it to Derry, left side, nowhere to go. Aiden Parson on the stop, as he may have gotten the line of scrimmage. I believe, though, he lost a yard. And, Miles, that looked like the timing was just off between a non-quarterback and a non-running back. Correct. On that mesh play.
I agree with you there. So now we're of a 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and 3 from the 33. You're obviously out of field goal range. It'd be a 50-yarder. Now, we've seen them pooch punt once already. There's 1:45 to go. Concordia's defense has been dominant, and they have a 14-3 lead. 1:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. So about 14 minutes of football left to play here. And they're going to go back to the Wildcat. So unless Dingle's going to punt, I don't think we're seeing another pooch here. They got to get to the 30 on 4th and 3. Dingle takes a snap. He's going to throw it out to the right. He's got Derry. One man to beat, and he got the first down. Huge hit at the end of the play, but they pick up 4 yards on 4th and 3. And how about Everett Dingle today? 2 for 2 passing for 34 yards, a touchdown, and a huge 4th down conversion.
And how about Jordan Brooks, your quarterback, taking the pass and then taking a big hit like that at the end of the play, but he looks no worse for wear.
What a play that was right there, and that was the last thing we expected. I thought, honestly, it was more likely we'd see another pooch punt this time from Dingle than to see him pass the ball.
I thought it was going to be a run, more, one of those, either Josh Derry, somebody was going to come around and get the ball. I didn't really anticipate Everett Dingle throwing the pass there.
1st and 10 from the Loyola 29. They're back in the Wildcat. Fake to Derry, up the middle goes Dingle. He's got nothing in there on the play. Billy Dwan, the senior defensive lineman, number 50 in blue, stops him for a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the 30, as we are now under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Remember, 12-minute quarters here at this high school level, so it's a little less than the 15. So got about 13 minutes of football left, with Concordia leading by 11, and Everett Dingle coming up a bit slow on that play. He is hunched over, and I believe, let's see if they go back to their normal formation. No, even with Dingle smarting a bit, they're going to stay in this Wildcat. Now, a little different look here. It is Derry in the backfield, whereas Gilchrist is the motion man, or at least the potential motion man.
3 guys to the right, 3 receivers right, going to the left.
And they blew it up. Loyola blows it up. Smart play by Dingle to just hold on to the ball, as Nathaniel Jackson, the junior defensive end, was in the backfield immediately. And that's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. 12 seconds and ticking left on the clock. It is going to be a 3rd down and long for Concordia when we come to the 4th quarter. But no points. This 3rd quarter flew by, and after 3, it's Concordia Prep 14 and Loyola 3. 12 minutes to play to decide a champion in the B Conference. And we'll find out who's going to hoist the trophy when we come back. Start of the fourth quarter from Kelly Field at Calvert Hall College High School in Towson. Connor Newcomb, Miles Goodman with you here on the AC Sports Network on YouTube. MIAA B Conference Championship game. Concordia Prep with a 14-3 lead over Loyola. It's a 3rd and long. They throw it out to Keenan Gilchrist. He makes the catch, but he is not going to get much. May have lost even more yardage. And Concordia is going to punt here, you would think, on 4th and long, although they are in Loyola territory, as the ball is going to be placed at the Loyola 38. And it is a 4th and I think 19 here. Yeah, it's a 4th and 19. The first down marker is all the way at the 19-yard line. Concordia went backwards on each of their 3 plays on this set of downs.
Is Ryder Bentz out there?
And looking on the sideline, I see 31. Ryder Bentz is not out there. So on a 4th and 19 from the 38, 11:15 to go in the game. Could be pooch kick time, and yes it is. Brooks drops back. We've seen him do it once today, but he missed on the pooch punt. He missed on the pooch punt. Disaster for Concordia potentially, as Brooks hit a fantastic punt on his first try. This one went about 5 yards off the side of his foot. And now Loyola is going to get much better field position than they thought.
Yeah, you were hoping to maybe have him around the 20-yard line or so. Instead, they start at the 40. Right around the 40?
Yeah, they're going to mark him at the 35-yard line.
Okay.
The punt netted 4 yards on the pooch kick. And Brooks, again, it was a fantastic one he did earlier in the game. They knocked him inside the 15, but not this time. 1st and 10 from the 35, 11:02 to play. Dons trail by 11. Marcus Hines looking to throw, escapes the pocket. Pressure on him, just heaves it up in the air. It's a jump ball, it's intercepted. Intercepted, and the referee says he was out of bounds. The referee said Everett Dingle, who caught the ball on the deflection, had a foot out of bounds as it went off the hands of Jaden Moore, who almost made a spectacular catch. And after all that, it's incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10.
I'm looking for the replay. John Miller, our tech guy, we need. Can you replay? Can you play that one back for us?
Get it on the jumbotron?
Because
he was extremely close to the sideline.
Yeah.
It would have been tough to get the feet in.
You only have to have 1 foot in,
right,
in high school level. But
I think also what might have happened, he may have been standing out of bounds when he jumped to catch that and never was established back in bounds. So 2nd and 10 from the 35, 10:51 to go. Hines looking to throw again. They're setting up the screen. Concordia had it covered, and it's incomplete. Just throw it at the feet of his running back.
That was really good defense. They saw the screen coming, and they played it. They have been bringing him into the blitz, or bring him into the screen pass and having that zone open up. But the defense didn't go for it this time.
Yeah, Concordia's been fantastic against the screens today. Remember on the first play of the game, Terrell Barty almost picked one off and could have taken it back for a touchdown. They've been really good identifying the screens. 3rd and 10 from the 35 for Loyola, 10:45 to play. Hines in the gun, pressure coming, throws over the middle, he's got Moore, he's got the catch, and he breaks a tackle. Jaden Moore up the sideline. Moore with 1 man to beat, and he's taken down on a shoestring tackle inside the 30-yard line, and a huge gainer to Jaden Moore. Biggest play of the day for Loyola. Josh Derry, the final line of defense, saved a touchdown. They're going to mark him at the 27-yard line of Concordia. 1st and 10 for Loyola. Miles, a play they desperately needed.
That was a must-have play. If they don't get that play, I wouldn't say the game was over, but it would be getting more and more difficult. I mean, that was a huge play.
If that's incomplete, like, they probably would have punted, but they would have thought about it a little bit about going for it, time and score.
You're at that point.
So it looks like the Wildcat for Loyola here with Robinson in the backfield. He's going to fake it to Moore. He's going to move left. McCullough riding on top of him, and a flag flies, and that is in the area of holding, as Robinson was able to pick up 5, drag Tracus McCullough, who eventually got him down, but it is against the Loyola offensive line. So it's holding against Loyola, and instead of 2nd and 5, it's going to be about a 1st and 20 here. So now remember, if you're the Dons, obviously you want a touchdown here, but if you at least come away with 3, you still get it to that one possession game if you can get it to 14-6. So that's their goal. But, you know, Bex has already missed a kick tonight. He missed earlier at the end of the first half from 37. He made from 23 early in the game. That's the only Loyola points.
Yep.
As Concordia jumped. So Loyola goes 10 yards back and then 5 yards forward here, as they had him marked right there at the 34. So it was a 1st and 17, which is going to turn into a 1st and 12 here for Loyola. So 1st and 12, not a down and distance you see very often. 1st and 12 from the 29 for Loyola. Clock is rolling, 9:38 and counting to go. Hines is in the gun. He's got Robinson to his left, 2 receivers to each side. Hines looking to throw. Throws out there. He's got Bull. Bull looking to get around a tackle. Breaks 1 tackle. And he's taken down finally by Keenan Gilchrist. He's inside the 20-yard line, and he is right at the marker. See if they give him a first down, and they will. So he got exactly the 12 yards he needed, as Noah Bull, the senior, just fighting through tackles as he gets to the 17-yard line. Loyola into the red zone for the first time since their first drive, when they got a field goal to open the game to go up 3-0. They haven't scored since. 1st and 10 at the 17, 8:55 and counting to go. Robinson in that Wildcat once again. Moore coming in motion. He fakes. Robinson goes left side, and he's got a nice gainer. He's down to the 11-yard line, as Marcus Hawkins was there to help on the stop. And it's going to be a 2nd and short. Justin Harvey in there on the tackle as well.
When you haven't seen the Wildcat, it's difficult to defend it, and especially when you have players that are that dynamic and at doing it.
They'll mark it at the 9, so it's going to be a 2nd and 2 after an 8-yard gain. 8:18 to go, and we have a whistle and a Concordia timeout. I think a smart timeout from Joe Battaglia there. His defense was giving up some chunk plays, and you know, with the 11-point lead, you don't need the timeouts as much down the stretch, so you just want to talk it over and give your defense a rest.
Yeah, I think it's more about giving them a rest. A couple guys looked a little winded there. Looked like they kind of a little dinged. It's good to stop the clock and take a breather, come back and try to make your stand.
Yeah, now your goal is just hold them to 3. You know, they're going to get it. If they score either way, they're going to get it to a 1-score game. But being up by 8 versus, you know, if Loyola scores, they're going to go for the 2 to try and cut it to a 3-point game. And an 8-point lead and a 3-point lead, very, very different here late in the game. So if you can at least hold them to 3, an 8-point game, I mean, the worst that can happen on the next possession is they tie the game. So 8:17 to go in this one. It's going to be a 2nd and 2 for Loyola from the Concordia 9-yard line. As the big play on this drive was the huge pass on 3rd and 10 to Jaden Moore. Picked up about 40 yards and got Loyola right around the 30-yard line. They're back in that Wildcat that's been working with Micah Robinson. And Jaden Moore comes in motion. They haven't given one to him yet. They don't this time. Robinson is going to have the first down as he gets 3 yards down to the 6 on 2nd and 2, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
So definitely working that left side.
And if you're Concordia here, what you have to watch out for is for them to give it to Jaden Moore on that play, because again and again they have faked to Moore and Robinson's taken it, and one of these times he's going to give it off. Now they've got Moore back at quarterback here. 7:50 and counting to go. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line for Loyola. As Jackson, the tight end, goes in motion, Moore's going to take the snap, and I believe a false start. So that's going to back up the Dons 5 yards. I'm not sure who jumped, but I wonder if it was Jackson, because he looked a little out of sorts when he went into motion up to the line. And I wonder if he didn't get set in time. So they'll back him up to the 11. So 1st and goal from the 11. It's a much more ideal spot for the Concordia defense. Clock running under 7.5 to play in this one. And 1st and goal from the 11. Now it's Hines back at quarterback as he's got Robinson to his right. We haven't really seen much of Hines since they've gotten into Concordia territory. He's throwing towards the corner of the end zone, and it's knocked away. Had a chance at the pick
He fell down, I think.
But Tracus McCullough fell down, and he did a good job still getting a hand on it. It would have been a really tough shoestring catch, but he made it known that it was going to be incomplete. And it's 2nd and goal from the 11, 7:14 to play with the clock stopped. I mean, that could have been a dagger to Loyola had McCullough been able to.
That would have hurt.
Now, even if he stayed on his feet, it was still going to be a tough catch because he was coming off his man. That was not his receiver they were throwing to. But a nice heads-up play by McCullough to see that. So 2nd and goal from the 11. Hines again is in the shotgun. He's going to roll to his right. He's got space to run if he wants to. Fakes the throw, cuts back inside, and then gets his way back down to that 6-yard line. So he gets the penalty yardage back on the false start. Picks up 5 yards, and it will be 3rd and goal from the 6. 6:55 and counting to go.
Another big play right here.
And at the very least, for Concordia, even if Loyola gets in the end zone, they've killed off another 2 minutes even since they got in the red zone.
Yeah.
And at the very least, you know, time is on your side when you're up 11 in the 4th quarter. 3rd and goal from the 6. Again, it is the junior quarterback, Marcus Hines, who is in the shotgun. Takes a snap. He'll throw a fade towards the end zone. It's incomplete. Not sure about that play call right there. They were looking for A.J. Szymanski, the junior tight end, who had not had a target all day.
Looks like a field goal attempt coming here.
And Szymanski had just 4 catches on the year. 2 of them came last week in the semifinal against Boys Latin. And Loyola's going to go for the 3. Connor Becks will come out there. He's 1 for 2 today, and he's 14 of 16 on the season. This kick will be from 23 yards. He's already made from 23 today, and he's missed from 37. This to get it back to a 1-possession game with 6:26 to go. Hold is down, it's blocked! Concordia blocked it! Ball's still loose, and the Saints have it back. Not sure who got in there, but special teams does it again.
Huge penetration. That ball never got up.
Miles, this championship game tonight has been decided by field goals that were not made.
Absolutely, good call. Yeah.
2 blocked field goals have been arguably the 2 biggest and most important plays in this game.
Usually your field goals, even at this level, don't turn into those kind of plays. But a touch, I've never really seen the touchdown. Now's the time that your offense needs to work. You got a 2-score lead. Your offense needs to take some time off the clock here.
Loyola does have all 3 of its timeouts. There's 6:18 to go. Concordia has it 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Brooks is in the gun, and he's going to give it to Alston. And Anto Saka, my goodness. You want to pick out the D1 Big Ten commit on the field, you just look at that play and see how quick he got in the backfield.
He wanted that one, and he blew it up. And we got a Concordia lineman limping number 51.
Yeah, that's Bryce Davis, who scored the touchdown in the first half.
He looks a little dinged right now.
Of course, probably the best moment of his football life so far. He's the long snapper on the field goals, and he picked up the ball and scored a touchdown. But that is an important play right there. Davis comes off the field, who's a big part, not just on special teams like I talked about, but on the offensive line. So we'll see how that affects Concordia, as they lost a lot on that play.
The clock's still running.
Yeah, 5:28 and counting. They're at the 29. It's a 2nd and 14. Brooks looking to throw. He gets it out to Dingle. Dingle makes the catch, and he's got nothing there. Stop made by Maurice Barksdale. First time we really called his name, number 20 in blue, the senior corner who makes the tackle. And a 3rd and 14 coming up. Clock ticking down. We're going to, just a second here, go under 5 minutes to play. Remember, Loyola does have all 3 of its timeouts, but because they're down 11 and they're down 2 possessions, they want to save them. Really, ideal scenario, you force the punt, you go get a score without using any of your timeouts, and then you can save them for the next Concordia possession. But so much has to go right there that they may have to use one on this next play just to get the ball back. So a 3rd and 14, 4:35 to go and counting.
Comes pressure.
They're just going to give it on the draw. Concordia plays it safe. They fumble the football, but Alston falls on it. That was the break Loyola was looking for.
You could see they thought they were going to cut. They were hoping to come up with it, but didn't.
Jaden Austin falls on his own fumble. It's a gain of 1, and it makes it a 4th and 13 from the 30-yard line. Clock at 4:08 and ticking, 28 on the play clock, which means they can get it down to 3:40 before they punt it away. And the referees are going to blow it dead. Now, they will wind the clock once they restart it. 4 minutes on the dot are remaining in the game. 14-3 Concordia. They're going to punt it away to Loyola, who has all 3 of its timeouts at the moment. And their punt returner is Shane Elliott, and he is back there to receive. Remember, Elliott's put the ball on the turf once already today. On a nice pass down the seam, he caught it, then fumbled it early in the 3rd quarter. Referees actually went over to say something to the Loyola student section over there. Not sure if someone had made their way down onto the track area, onto the field, or what happened. But they will wind the clock, and now Loyola is going to use a timeout. So, as I mentioned, Miles, you're kind of in a tough spot over there if you're Anthony Zayu, 5th season as a head coach, and you want to save the timeouts, but you don't want Concordia to run another 25 seconds off right here, and it's a tough spot.
Yeah, you needed to use the timeout there. That was the right place to use it. You still have 2 left. You're not in panic mode yet. There's 4 minutes to go. You're getting the ball back in a 2-score game. So there's still a lot of football to be played. And a lot will depend on how good this punt is and how good Loyola's field position is after the punt.
Yeah, Anthony Zayu, the 5th-year head coach, took over this Loyola program when it was reeling. After they won their MIAA title in 2008, they were a combined 9-41 from 2009 to 2017. After a 2-9 year in his first season, Dons went 6-4 in 2018, 8-2 in 2019, 2-1 in the COVID-shortened season last year, and now into the championship game this year as Ryder Bentz gets the punt away. That was his job, and Elliott is going to field it, and he will go down at about the 43-yard line. So, as you said, it's going to be solid field position for Loyola to start this drive with 3:53 on the clock, and as they just used 1, they've got 2 timeouts remaining.
Nice punt by Ryder Bentz. Good field position to start. Your job as defense now is to keep him from a quick strike and try to keep the ball inbounds where Loyola needs to run off more timeouts.
Loyola looking for the first title in 13 years. Concordia looking for their first ever. Fairly new school, fairly small school. Not a lot of students to pick from. Under 400 students at the school.
I think about 130 boys to choose from.
It's not a large pool of players yet. They've put together a team that's 353 away from a conference championship. Marcus Hines will throw. It's out to Noah Bull, makes the catch, and he's taken down to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 11 and a first down for Loyola. So a good start for the Dons. Clock stops to move the chains with 3:46 remaining. Remember, they trail by 2 scores as now the clock will roll. Hines 1st and 10 at the 45 of Concordia. Looking to throw once again. He's going to step up to his left, and Toyja Kelly is going to bring him down.
Nice play.
With the long hair flowing out of the back of the helmet, he makes a big tackle. Hines will get 1 rushing yard on the play as he crossed the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9 at the 44, 3:20 and counting.
Keeps the clock running.
Yeah, big play there by Toyja Kelly, who has been huge today. Their senior defensive lineman. Hines looking to throw. He finds his man. Beautiful throw out as he had pressure all around him. He gets it to Noah Bull, who's inside the 35 to the 34. Or they'll mark him right at the 35. That's right at the marker for a first down, gain of 9. So clock rolling, under 3 minutes to go. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Loyola. As Hines will look to throw again in the shotgun. Throws right, pass was tipped at the line as Terrell Bartee got his paw on it, and it will be incomplete. He was looking for Shane Elliott at 2nd and 10. 2:49 as the clock stops.
On coverage for the Saints. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
So 2nd and 10, and now it's really interesting, how the Dons will use Jaden Moore, because he came into this game 53 of 88 passing. He'd actually thrown more passes than Hines coming in, but he hasn't thrown a pass today. And so can you even put him back at quarterback when you're down 11 this late in the game?
Yeah, it's hard to come in cold like that.
You got to find other ways to get him the ball, and they want to get him the ball. Hines looking to throw. He's going to step up and run with it. He's inside the 30, got a first down inside the 25, and then a nice tackle by Keenan Gilchrist at the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 13 up the middle for Marcus Hines, who has not rushed for many yards this year, but is a good runner, does have 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. 2:30 to go. 1st and 10 from the 22. Moore at quarterback. He'll fake the give. He'll go to the right side, and he's going to get swung down right around the 15-yard line. Nice gainer from the sophomore Jaden Moore, who came in averaging 10.2 yards per carry on the season, close to 400 rushing yards on the year. 2nd and short. He will give to Robinson, and he's swallowed up in the backfield.
Huge tackle there.
Looked like that was Sidney Stewart, the freshman who just made his biggest play of the season.
I was talking to his dad earlier before the game, and he was telling me about Sidney and how he's developing as a freshman.
So a timeout called here with 2:05 remaining.
Puts him to 1 timeout.
Yeah, Loyola took it, so they've just got 1 remaining. So essentially with 2:05 and 1 timeout, Miles, no matter what their score is, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, they have to onside kick now. They've gotten themselves in the point where they can't give the ball back to Concordia.
Right, because they'll just be able to run the clock out.
So you got to feel good in that sense if you're the Saints.
You never feel good till it's...
Right. You got to feel better in that sense if you're the Saints.
Yeah, you feel a little better.
And I think a big part of that, Miles, obviously the blocked field goal was huge. Yeah. But I think a big part of that was how they were able to stall down at the goal line on the last Loyola possession, run off 2 extra minutes before that field goal attempt. 3rd down coming. Ball is at the 21-yard line. It's a 3rd and 9. Hines rolling right, throws over the middle, it's incomplete.
No flags.
Threw it behind his man Leo Twiss as Marcus Hawkins had the coverage.
4th down.
And do you kick it here? I mean, you need the 3 at some point.
Well, that's true. But it's a good point.
Bex has missed 1. He's had 1 blocked. And over there on that other sideline, Anthony Zayu cannot have a lot of confidence in his field goal unit right now.
Yeah, and I think this is a situation where you need the 2 scores. I would do what he's doing. I'd go for it here and know that if I get in that position again, I'll kick the field goal.
4th and 9. It would have been a 38-yard field goal, which is in his range. 4th and 9 from the 21. Got to get to the 12-yard line to really keep the season alive for Loyola. Hines looking to throw. He's going to throw towards the end zone. It is knocked away. Incomplete. Everett Dingle in there to make the play. Tracus McCullough as well. And you look at the time, you look at the timeouts, and this one might be pretty much over from Kelly Field.
Holy mackerel. The pass was there. The receiver had his hands on the ball, and Mr. Excitement, Mr. Dingle, went up and actually made the defensive play. Because I think without him, that ball's complete.
Shane Elliott almost brought that ball in, the Loyola wide receiver. That was a pretty good throw from Marcus Hines.
Yeah, the throw was on the spot.
Very good ball.
The Everett Dingle made the play.
Now, I'm interested to see if Concordia will be in victory formation. 1:52 to go. The play clock is usually at 40, I believe. And they have 1 timeout on the Loyola sideline.
Talk about a difference of 2 weeks. And you get dismantled in a game, and you come back 2 weeks later. That's why you got to play these games.
41-9, Loyola beat Concordia 2 weeks ago in the regular season. Alston up the middle. Concordia does need 1 first down to officially seal it. And Jaden Alston is going to be stopped for no gain, and Loyola is going to call its final timeout with 1:43 to go. So you look at the math. If they don't get a first down, they might have to punt with like a couple of seconds left. At that point, you probably just run around and throw the ball out of bounds.
You have to, at this point, look at the Concordia coaching staff and the players, the administration. You have to look at everybody that has helped build this program in such a short time. They still haven't won this game, but just to be in the position where they are right now with 1:43 to go and have the opportunity to win, just everybody within this organization deserves a lot of credit for getting this team to where it is today.
Just the second season for Joe Battaglia. They barely had one last year.
It was the coronavirus shortened season where they played like 3 games.
And this year, Joe Battaglia talked about what he talked about with his coaching staff, and he wants to shout out his entire staff. They got a large staff here at Concordia. Everybody plays a role on this coaching staff, and they have done a great job as assistants to Coach Battaglia. But he said 4 core values for this Concordia Prep team. Toughness. Well, they've been tough today. Together. They have certainly played together, especially on that sideline. Detail. He wants to focus on all the little things. And discipline for his team, both on and off the field, as they are in victory formation in the championship game. Jordan Brooks has taken a knee, and he's going to have to take 1 or 2 more of these. It's going to be 3rd down, minute 29 and counting. I'm doing the math in my head.
I think they're going to have
I don't know if they can run it all the way out with the knees. So they might have to do something different. Obviously, with the 2-score lead, it's much different than a 1-score lead. You can even give Loyola the ball back. But they're going to run it all the way down here. 1:10 on the game clock, 8 on the play clock before they snap it here. So let's see how much time they can get off here, as we will have a timeout called by Joe Battaglia. So a minute 1 is on the clock. It's going to be a 3rd and long, and with a 40-second play clock, they can't actually run the whole clock off. So we'll see if they do actually run a play here. And it looks like Loyola might get the ball back a little bit, but I mean, just what a game. And Miles, I mean, Loyola got 3 points, but let's be quite honest. I won't say a gift, because they still had to move the ball down the field and get the 3 points, still to make the kick, which was tough for them.
The drive was prolonged by a roughing the passer call that was a very, very late flag, and that it was a 3rd and long, and it gave them the 1st down near midfield, and they earned it. They moved the ball into the field goal range. But when you look at what happened again 2 weeks ago, where it was a completely different game, but a tribute again to the coaching staff for dealing with that adversity and getting your players focused to come out for a championship game and pretty much erase that game from their memory. And that game was playing for home field advantage in the playoffs.
So they are going to take a knee here, so they can run off 40 more seconds. So right now, it's 56, it's still running, 52 on the game clock. Now the play clock's not running, and I'm unsure why. Loyola should be able to get the ball back, but the play clock's not running.
Yeah, there it goes.
Here at Kelly Field, there it goes. So they will not be able to run it all the way down here. They're going to call one more timeout, but this place is going crazy. Concordia Prep, the students, the fans, the parents, the families showed out here at Kelly Field in Towson to support their Saints in their first ever playoff appearance. And they give up 3 points in 2 games in the postseason. An 8-0 grinded out win over St. Mary's in the semifinal. And then after going down 3-0, they went up 14-3. And nobody scored in this second half. And that is just how the Saints like it. 4 seconds left as the clock almost hits zeros. Oh boy, we got fans on the field. We got fans on the field. They got to get them off the field.
It's not
this
quite
is not
over
at
yet.
zero. There's still 4 seconds remaining.
Not quite over yet.
But what a job from Joe Battaglia coming over. He was a defensive analyst at Navy with the midshipmen in Annapolis for 3 years. Took this job, wanted a head coaching job, wanted a program that was his. And man, he has made it his in just these 2 seasons. Coach Battaglia himself has gone through a lot off the field as well in these last couple of years, and it's got to feel fantastic for him to get this championship. I asked him this week, Miles, are you nervous? And he said, you know what, I'm not really nervous. He's just, more worried about how the guys were feeling, but he was just so proud of his guys for just getting to this point, and he knew they had a chance. Most people outside the program saw Loyola this year, saw 41-9 2 weeks ago, and said the Dons are getting their first title in 13 years.
Yeah, when you look at how that game shaped up, and then they have to come back 2 weeks later and play at this level against the same team and hold them to only 3 points is a significant achievement, and to put your stamp on it and get your first championship.
They're going to try to run out these 4 seconds. Dingle is going to run backwards.
He's
going to take a safety. Joe Battaglia said that last year was the trailer, and this year was the movie.
It's
a
over.
box office hit for Concordia Prep. The Saints, their first ever MIAA championship.
It gives you chills. Congratulations to the Concordia Saints. Congratulations to the Loyola Dons. But the first, look at the celebration, the first championship for Concordia.
The Saints in their first ever playoff appearance in just the second year under head coach Joe Battaglia. Final score in the MIAA B Conference Championship game, Concordia Prep 14, Loyola 3, and the Saints are celebrating. They have rushed the field as they have won their first ever title. And Miles, I gotta tell you, a new school is on the scene in MIAA football. And I'm not just talking about the B Conference, because they're gonna start knocking on the door of the A Conference. And the teams like the team at this field, Calvert Hall, McDonough, Mount St. Joe's, and others, better start watching, because this defense is going to come into the A Conference in a couple of years, and they're looking for that next step, that title. But what a moment here tonight.
Would it sound hokey if I said the Saints came marching in?
Well, they did, and they marched in, they marched down the field a couple of times, and they won the game.
Yes, what a change. What a performance, offensive, defensive, special teams. Everybody contributed. Every player on that field contributed to this win tonight.
You know, Miles, I was talking with Joe Battaglia last year, got a chance to do the Saints games last season in 2020 in the COVID-shortened season. You know, it was a short schedule anyway. COVID knocked out some other games they barely got to play. As I said, he called it the trailer to the movie. And just talking with him before last season, just about how much it meant to him to have his own program. He wanted to instill something new, and he wanted to build something. I don't even know if he thought he could build it this quickly. But here we are 2 seasons in. And really, Miles, he wins a championship in his first season because there was no championship last year. Nobody played more than 4 games last season. So in his first real chance to win a title, Joe Battaglia and the Saints do it here at Kelly Field.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw Concordia coming the way they did, and his defense being as good as it turned out to be, and then the offense doing what it needed to do between the ground game, some passing game, some wildcat. There was a bit of everything in this game.
Just so cool to see this Saints team win it, and know how they've built this team too, with, you know, some guys who were under-recruited, you know, some guys who transferred in from other programs, maybe weren't recruited by the upper echelon of the MIAA, but wanted to play at this level. Some guys who, you know, transferred in from public schools and wanted to get a chance. They've got a running back who came all the way from Charleston, South Carolina, because his grandma wanted Jaden Alston to play for Joe Battaglia, and he's RB1 leading them to a championship.
He runs hard and downhill. Hey, before we're done, we got to give a thank you to our video crew, John Miller and AC Sports, because he has done an outstanding job from game 1 to today's championship game. Thank you, John.
Yeah, John, thank you. John Miller has done a fantastic job on the AC Sports Network here on YouTube, producing all of these Concordia Prep home games, and then coming on the road here today for the championship at Kelly Field, the home of the Calvert Hall Cardinals. But the celebration goes on the field, but that's going to do it for us. And Miles, just wanted to give you any final thoughts on this Concordia season, coming away with a title. And honestly, to me, I mean, not just the title, but a dominant performance over a team that dominated them 2 weeks ago. And they, you know, they didn't roll to the title because they only, you know, they scored 22 points in 2 games. But despite that, it never felt like they had a chance to lose either of these 2 games in the playoffs.
Well, defense wins championships, and that's what they kind of rallied around. It has been an incredibly fun season. Look at how happy these kids are, and you got to give credit. Loyola played a tough game. I mean, they were in it to the very end, and they had a good season, and they'll be back next year. And but congratulations to the Concordia Saints for winning their first MIAA championship.
Well, for our producer, director, the all-everything man, John Miller, and my partner, Miles Goodman, I'm Connor Newcomb, signing off from Kelly Field in Towson. The Concordia Prep Saints win it 14-3 over the Loyola Dons, And Concordia Prep and head coach Joe Battaglia capture their first ever MIAA championship, winning the B Conference title here in the 2021 season. We thank you so much for watching tonight and all season here on the AC Sports Network, watching Concordia Prep football as they are still building something special at Concordia, and that build continues today with their first ever title taken down the Dons. We thank you so much for watching this exciting game. Congrats to the Concordia Prep Saints, all their players, coaches, staff, all the students, administrators, teachers at the school. It all culminates in this victory for Concordia Prep tonight. One more time, final score: Concordia Prep 14, Loyola 3. The Saints win their first ever title. We thank you so much for watching here tonight and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.